Welcome everyone to our Srimad Bhagavatam review class. We'll begin with our prayers. Om Jnanatimirandhasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Guruve Namaha. Shri Chaitanya Manoਭीष्टं स्थापितं येन भूतले स्वयं रूपा कदा मह्यं ददाति स्वपदान्तिकं वन्देऽहं श्रीगुरो श्रीयुतापदकमलं श्रीगुरून् वैष्णवांश्च श्रीरूपं साग्रजातां सहगणा रघुनाथान्वितं तं सजीवं साद्वैतं सावधूतं परिजना सहितं कृष्णचैतन्यदेवं श्रीराधा कृष्णपादान् सहगणा ललिता श्रीविशाखान्वितांश्च हे कृष्ण करुणा सिन्धु दीनबन्धु जगत्पते गोपेश गोपिकान्त राधाकान्त नमोऽस्तुते तप्त काञ्चन गौरांगी राधे वृन्दावनेश्वरी वृषभानुसुते देवी प्रणमामि हरिप्रिये वाञ्छाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्य एव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः। नमो विष्णुपादाय कृष्णपृष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदान्त स्वामी निति नामिने नमस्ते सरस्वती देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेषा शून्यवादी पाश्चात्य देश तारिणे जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधार श्रीवासदि गौर भक्तवृंद हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे Hare Krishna. So welcome everyone. So we are discussing from the 8th canto of Srimad Bhagavatam, and so far we have discussed the wonderful story, wonderful pastime of Gajendra Moksha, and we saw how Gajendra, he was a crocodile in the heavenly regions, and because he was so very powerful, he was always moving around with his associates, females, wives and children, and he was literally controlling the entire forest of Ritumat garden and this valley of Trikuta mountain. And it so happened that one day when he was roaming around in this garden, he smelled the fragrance of the lotuses which was coming from the Ritumat lake, and he entered that lake, was enjoying with his family, but a crocodile, he caught hold of the legs of Gajendra. He tried to, escape from his jaws. For 1,000 years, the battle was going on. Slowly, Gajendra, his power started becoming less and less. Crocodile was becoming more and more powerful. And seeking no shelter now, then at that point, he started offering prayers to the Supreme Lord. Beautiful, beautiful prayers he spoke. And hearing those prayers, Supreme Lord, he appeared there, and he severed the head of, he first of all, he caught hold of the trunk of Gajendra. And Gajendra, when he saw that Lord had appeared, he picked up a lotus flower and offered to the Supreme Lord with his trunk. Lord Hari caught hold of the trunk and then pulled Gajendra out of the water along with the crocodile. He severed the head of the crocodile. So that's what we discussed. Now the second chapter, the fourth chapter begins. So in this chapter, now further what happens, it is described. When the sages, demigods, Gandharvas, when they saw that how Supreme Lord, he has delivered this Gajendra from the clutches of crocodile, everybody started offering prayers, showered flowers, and then all the Gandharvas, they came, started beating kettle drums, and they started dancing and singing. This crocodile, he was also a Gandharva named Huhu, So this Gandharva named Huhu, in the past life, he was cursed by Devala Muni. What was the curse? Why he was cursed? We'll discuss in some time. Gajendra, so this Devala Rishi, when he cursed, this Huhu, he became a crocodile, but out of the causeless mercy of the Lord, because he was touched by the Sudarshan of Lord Vishnu, he became Mukta Kilbishaha, he became free from all the sins. He assumed his form of Gandharva, he circumambulated, offered obeisances to the Supreme Lord, offered beautiful prayers, glorifying him, expressing his gratitude, and then he circumambulated the Lord and he returned to his Gandharva Loka. Who was that how he was cursed. So as usual, we have heard many times similar instances. This he was a Gandharva, and as usual, he was once playing in the water of a very sacred river along with some women. In that lake, in that waters, this Deval Rishi, he was doing tapasya. So this out of his impudence, he went inside the water. He caught hold, grabbed the leg of Deval Rishi, and he pulled it. When Deval Rishi, he saw this very, very obstinate behavior of this Gandharva, he became very, very angry on him. He cursed, "You are behaving like a dull animal. You become a dull animal. You become a crocodile. You are catching hold of my leg underwater. That is an action of a crocodile. Only crocodile does this. You become a crocodile." And as a result of that curse, this he became this crocodile in this Ritumat lake. But when he was cursed, he became immediately repentant. He realized his mistake. He offered prayers, he begged forgiveness from Deval Rishi. And then out of his mercy, Deval Rishi said that, "Okay, because you are asking for forgiveness, Lord will come and free you when you attack this Gajendra." Prabhupada writes there, a saint's curse is also a boon. Just because this Deval Rishi, he cursed to become a crocodile, he got a chance to have darshan of Lord face to face. Otherwise, it was not possible for this Gandharva to have darshan of Lord Hari. So that is a wonderful story about Similar, instance comes in the 10th canto, Nalakuvar and Manigriva. They were so very powerful, puffed up, because of the wealth of Kuvera. Rudrasyanucharo bhutva sudriptau dhanadatmajau Kailashopawane ramye mandakinyo madotkato varunim madiram pitva mada ghurnit lochano Stri janairanugaayadbhir cheratu pushpite vane. Rudrasya Anuchar, they were the associates of Lord Shiva. Dhanadatmajo, they were the sons of Kuvera. And they were playing in Mandakini Ganga with women. Intoxicated, their eyes were rolling. When Narad Muni, he appeared there, they did not even care to cover their bodies. They were also cursed. Because Narad Muni cursed Nalkuvar and Manigriv. We'll discuss in the 10th canto in detail this whole pastime. This Nalkuvar and Manigriv, they got a chance to see all the wonderful childhood pastimes of Krishna. So that is a wonderful nature of a curse of a saintly personality. When the great personalities, saints, they all curse also. Their curse is a benediction. And then what about Gajendra? Who was he in the past life? And what happened to Gajendra? Gajendro Bhagavat Sparshad Vimukto Jnana Bandhanat Prapto Bhagavato Rupam Pitavasha Chaturbhujaha. Now, interestingly, this he went to the Gandharva Loka. But where did Gajendra went? Where did Gajendra go there? Then after being delivered? Gajendro Bhagavat Sparshad, because Supreme Lord Hari personally touched Gajendra. Bhagavat Sparshad. Vimukto Ajnana Bandhanat. Gajendra became free from all the bonds of ignorance. And then what was the result of this? He was liberated. He was liberated from this material bondage. Prapto Bhagavato Rupam. He attained a four-handed form similar to Lord's. He attained Sarupya Mukti. He attained liberation. He attained Sarupya Mukti. And then Pitavasa Chaturbhujaha. He was having 4 hands and he was wearing beautiful yellow garments. So that is the power of the touch of the Lord. So Prabhupada writes there, if one is favored by the Supreme Lord, then one assumes when he attains the spiritual body, one can go back home, back to Godhead, just by the touch of the Lord. And there he writes, Prabhupada writes, serving the Lord somehow or other makes one purified of all the material contaminations. Not only by touching him, just by hearing his pastimes is also purifying. In any way, if somebody comes in touch with the Supreme Lord, he becomes purified. So that is the wonderful nature of Harikatha. Pravishta karna randhrena swanam bhava saroruham dhunoti shamalam Krishna salilasya yatha sharat. Just like the autumnal rains cleanse everything, similarly, Harikatha, when enters the ears, purifies the heart of all the contaminations. Who was Gajendra in his past life? Because naturally, it is described that he remembered his past life, the mantra which he had heard, remembered in the past life. Who was Gajendra in the past life? So Shukadeva Goswami describes who was Gajendra. In the previous birth, Gajendra was a king named Indradyumna. He was a great Vaishnava king of the province of Pandya, of the region of Pandya in the province of Dravida. Indradyumna, just like a very wonderful, devoted, pious king, he ruled the kingdom very nicely. And then at proper time, he retired from his family. He went to Malaya hills, and then he was living there as a hermit. He had a small hermitage, and he was living there, serving the Supreme Lord. He had made a deity of the Lord. He had, and he was worshipping that deity. He wore matted locks of hair, Jatadhara. He was engaging in intense tapasya. Once, he was observing the vow of silence. He was not speaking to anyone. He was observing the vow of silence. Agastya Rishi, along with his disciples, they all came to the place, the ashram of this Indradyumna Maharaj. But this Indradyumna, he was so very absorbed in meditation on the Supreme Lord, he did not realize that Agastya Rishi had come. Seeing this impudent behavior, Agastya, although it was not impudent, he was absorbed in meditation. Agastya Rishi, he took this as an impudence. He became very, very angry. And he cursed Indradyumna Maharaj. He says that this king is not gentle. He is a asadhu. He is a duratma. He is a degraded personality. He is uneducated. He has insulted a brahmana. He has not given proper welcome to a brahmana. He has behaved like a dull-headed animal. May he enter into the darkness and receive a body of a dull-headed animal. May he receive the body of an elephant. And then saying those words, Agastya, he left that place. So Prabhupada writes there, actually, the curse of Agastya, somebody may think that, why these rishis are so very, they are supposed to be self-controlled, and just because they are not, given welcome, they are cursing a person who has done no sin, no mistake. Everything is orchestrated by the Supreme Lord. When we see some devotees put in certain situation, and we can't understand why this is happening to this person, we should know that it is Daiva Choditaha. It is arranged by the Supreme Lord. Supreme Lord, he wanted Indradyumna Maharaj to come back to the spiritual world as soon as possible. That's why this whole pastime was arranged, so that Agastya Muni cursed Indradyumna Maharaj, and in just one lifetime as an animal, as an elephant, Agastya, this Indradyumna Maharaj, he went to the spiritual world. He attained Sarupya Mukti. That's the same thing which happened to Parikshit Maharaj also. People may wonder, Parikshit Maharaj was saved in the womb of his mother by Krishna. Why Krishna did not save him from the shap of a son of a Brahmana, Shringi? It was all orchestrated by the Supreme Lord for two reasons. Lord wanted to show to the world, just see how my devotee responds in the calamity. And secondly, he wanted to bring Parikshit Maharaj as soon as possible to the spiritual world. So that is the very, very inconceivable arrangement of the Supreme Lord. And the interesting thing about Indradyumna becoming an elephant is, although he was cursed, first of all, he welcomed the curse of Agastya. We heard the same thing about this Chitraketu Maharaj also. When Chitraketu Maharaj was cursed by Parvati, he accepted that curse. He offered respects to Parvati and he said, Guna pramaha etasmin kah shapa kah anugraha kah swarga narkah kovas kim sukham dukkham eva. In this world, everything is happening by the modes of nature. And Indradyumna Maharaj, he also calmly accepted, he welcomed the curse of Agastya Rishi. He thought maybe this is some reaction which I am getting because of my past life sinful activities. Maybe it is the desire of the Lord. Apanna kaunjarim yonim atmasmriti vinashanim haryarchanubhavena yadgajatve pyanusmritihi. This is a very wonderful verse which describes the power of devotional service. Apanna kaunjari yoni. Although this Indradyumna Maharaj, he got a body of an elephant. Atma smriti vinashanim. In a body of an elephant, generally nobody remembers the past life, destroys the memory completely. But Hari Archananubhavena, because Indradyumna Maharaj was serving the Supreme Lord, he was performing devotional service. Yad gajatve api anusmritihi. Although he attained the body of an elephant, he remembered his past life. We hear the same thing about Bharat Maharaj also. Although he fell down because of attachment of a deer to a deer, he attained the body of a deer, but he remembered his past life. Prabhupada writes, this is a practical example of how a devotee thinks. Indradyumna Maharaj was thinking, maybe this is the reaction of my past deeds. Maybe it is the desire of the Lord. That is how a devotee thinks when problem comes. So this is the attitude of a devotee in the reverses. Tattenu kampam sushamikshamano bhunjanu evatma kritam vipakam ridvagavapurbhir vidham namaste jivetayo mukti pade sadaya bhak. This should be the attitude of all devotees connected to Krishna consciousness movement. When problem comes in the life, we should thank Krishna. Oh Krishna, I am so very grateful to you. You have given me this mercy. How problem is mercy for a devotee? Because a devotee thinks that I deserved much more. But Krishna, out of his mercy, has given me very less. So therefore, devotee is never disturbed. He should not be disturbed in unfavorable circumstances. Prabhupada writes there, a devotee should not be disturbed by the unfavorable, unfortunate circumstances, and he must continue his regular program, depending on the Lord for everything. One should never compromise on his regular sadhana. That is the ultimate priority of a devotee. Whatever may happen, hell or high water, whatever may come in the life of a devotee, our sadhana should not be compromised. And then what happened to Gajendra? Gajendra, after being delivered from the clutches of crocodile, attained the body of Vaikuntha Vasi. And he went with the Supreme Lord to the spiritual world. Supreme Lord, he took Gajendra, took Indradyumna Maharaj, along with him, he gave Sarupya Mukti to him, and he took him back to the spiritual world along with him. And after describing all this, Shukdeva Goswami gives the Falashruti. What is the advantage, what is the Falashruti of reading and hearing this wonderful Gajendra Mokshanam? He says, one gets promotion to higher planetary systems, one gets reputation as the greatest of the devotees, one diminishes the contamination of the Kali Yuga, Yash Kali Kalmash Apaham, and all the bad dreams are gone. Then Shukdeva Goswami says, when one should chant this Gajendra Mokshanam, after getting up from the bed in the morning, those who desire their welfare should chant this Beautiful pastime of Gajendra Moksha. They should hear this narration. And if somebody does that, they will not have to see bad dreams in their life. So Prabhupada writes there, because of our previous sinful activities, we get bad dreams many times, which are very troublesome. And then Supreme Lord, He Himself gives blessings. He says, that anyone who rises up early in the morning and focuses their mind on the beautiful pastime of mine liberating this Gajendra, one who focuses, remembers this Trikut mountain and all the various beautiful things, the various gardens, peaks, and the trees in the Trikut mountain, one who remembers my abode, one who remembers the mark of Shrivatsa, which is there on my chest, one who remembers my Kaustuba Mala, one who remembers Kaumudika Gada, one who remembers Garuda, Sheshanag, goddess of fortune, and one who remembers my incarnations like Matsya, Kurma, what he will attain? He will be freed from all the sinful reactions. Muchyante te amhaso akhilat. Amhaso means all the sins. Akhila, all the sins. Amhaso means sins. Akhilat means all the sins. That is a falashruti. Falashruti means, the result of hearing this katha. That is falashruti. And then Lord promises that those who offer me prayers, which Gajendra offered after rising from the bed early in the morning, anyone who offers these prayers to me, I give him eternal residence in the spiritual world at the end of the life. Dadami vipuli gatim. And then after giving all the instructions, Lord Rishikesha, Hari, he bugled his Panchajanya conchal. He, climbed on the back of Garuda and he went to the spiritual world. So that is the end of the 4th chapter. And now in the beginning of the 5th chapter, Shukdev Goswami says that, O Parikshit, now I have described to you the most pious narration of Gajendra Mokshanam, hearing which one becomes free from all the sinful reactions. Now I will describe to you about 5th Manu, that is Raivata. So Raivata, he was the son of Priyavrat Maharaj. And we have discussed earlier also that in every reign, there are 6 personalities who appear. The Manu, Devas, Manuputras, Indra, Sureshwara, Rishaya, and Amshavataras. So in the 5th Manu, Raivata, 5th Manvantara, Raivata was the Manu. And the Devatas, the demigods, were headed by Bhutarayas. Who were the Putras, Manuputras? They were headed by Arjuna, Bali, and Vindhya. The Sureshwara, Indra, was known as Vibhu. And there were 7 sages, Hiranyaroma, Vedashira, Urdhvabahu, and others. Who was the Amshavatar in this 4th Manvantara? Son of Shubhra and Vikuntha. His name was Vaikuntha. And this personality, he created another Vaikuntha planet at the request of his wife Rama. And there, Shukdev Goswami Prabhupada writes in the purport, and Chakravarti Thakur also writes that this Vaikuntha, which was created by Lord Vikuntha, it is same Vaikuntha which is there in the spiritual world. So Vaikuntha, Lord Hari, he brought that same spiritual world in this material world also. And then it describes about the 6th Manvantara. In the 6th Manvantara, Chakshusha was the Manu. He was the son of Chakshu. And the Devas were Apya, and the Manuputra were headed by Puru, Purusha, Sudyumna. We'll hear the story of Sudyumna in the 9th canto. And the Indra was named as Mantra Druma. The Rishis were headed by Havishman and Viraka and others. And who was the Amshavatara? Amshavatara was Ajita. Ajita was the son of Vairaj and Dev Sambhuti. And what did he do? This Ajita, he helped in the churning of a milk ocean. As Kurma, he carried Mandara mountain. And that is a wonderful pastime of Ajita. And then Shukdev Goswami says, Tasyanubhava kathito gunascha pramodaya bhauman renun bhaumam renun savimame sa yo vishnor varnayed gunan tasyanubhava kathito. The Supreme Lord's great activities are described here. I have described gunascha paramodayaha, and I have described to you the extremely glorious qualities of the Supreme Lord. Bhauman renun navimame, and the pastimes and the qualities of the Lord are so unlimited. If someday one can count the atoms of the dust which is there in the whole universe, then one can count the qualities of Lord Vishnu. In other place in Bhagavatam, it is described that even if somebody counts the dust particles, nobody can count the qualities of the Lord. Gunatmanaste api gunan vinatum hitavartirnasya kaishirasya कालेन येवै विमिता सुकल्पे भूपाम सव खेमिहिका द्युभास्यः. In due course of time, somebody may be able to count the dust particles in the universe. Someone may count the sun rays. Somebody may be able to count the snowflake particles. But still, nobody can count the qualities of Supreme Lord Krishna or Vishnu. So this Ajita, he churned this milk ocean, and as Kurma, he carried Mandar mountain. So when Parikshit Maharaj, he heard this, again he became curious to hear about this Samudra Manthan Leela. So Parikshit Maharaj, he asked 4 questions. Why and how did Lord Vishnu churn the ocean of the milk? Why did he stay in the water as a tortoise and hold up Mandara mountain? How did the demigods obtain the nectar? And what other things were produced from the churning of the milk ocean? So these are the 4 questions which Parikshit Maharaj asks. And then he expresses his eagerness to hear more about the Lord. That is how, Parikshit Maharaj always does. Whenever he wants to ask something from Shukadeva Goswami, he first of all expresses the question, and then he expresses his eagerness to hear. Not that, okay, I want to know, but if you like, I am not so much interested, but still, if you feel like, you tell. No, he was very eager. Tvaya sankatyamanena mahimna satvatam pateh natripyanti mechittam visuchiram tapatapitam. He says, Tvaya sankatyamanena. Hearing you describe the wonderful pastimes of Lord Hari, who is the Satvatampati, who is the master of the devotees. Na tripyanti me chittam. My heart is not fully satiated and satisfied. Suchiram tapatapitam. Because I am troubled by this threefold misery since billions of lives. Therefore, my heart is not satisfied. That is the wonderful nature of Harikatha. Somebody, if he hears Harikatha, he is satisfied hearing Harikatha. At the same time, he is never satisfied hearing Harikatha. He wants to hear more and more. He does not want to hear anything of the mundane material world. Kastripnoyatirtha padobhidhana satreshu vasuribhiridyamana yat karnanadim purushasya yato bhavapradam geharatim chinatti. Kastripnuyat. Who can be satisfied hearing Harikatha? If somebody wants to come out of the entanglement of material life, only Harikatha is the way out. So therefore, Parikshit Maharaj, he is expressing his eagerness that please, I am not satisfied, I want to hear more. Shukadeva Goswami, when he heard this eagerness of Parikshit Maharaj, he became very happy. He congratulated him. And he started the description of the glorious pastime of Samudra Manthan Leela. So first, Shukadeva Goswami describes the events which led to this churning of milk ocean. One time, Durvasa Muni, he was passing by on the road in the heavenly planets. He saw Indra, on the back of his elephant, Airavata. And Durvasa, he was very pleased to see Indra, and he offered his own garland from his neck, took out the garland from his neck, and he offered to Indra. Indra, he was so very puffed up by his wealth and opulence. He thought, okay, I am receiving so many garlands every day. One more sage has come and he has given one more garland. Okay, what's the big deal in that? So he placed the garland on the trunk of the Airavata. Airavat, being a dull elephant, he did not realize the importance of this garland. He threw the garland on the ground and he smashed it between his legs. When Durvasa Muni he saw this insulting behavior of Indra, immediately he cursed Indra. O Indra, you will become poverty stricken, you will become bereft of all the material opulence. You, along with all the three worlds, will lose their proper prosperity. And seeing this, and after saying this, Durvasa Muni disappeared. He went away. Immediately, the demigods, they lost all their strength because they were afflicted by this curse of Durvasa. And they lost all their material opulence, they lost the three worlds. Therefore, Prabhupada writes, to be extremely opulent in the materialistic advancement is sometimes very, very risky. If a materially opulent person is not careful, he is not caring about others, he is just egoistic, proud about his own achievements, for sure that is an invitation for fall down. As Vamanadev he says, Janma karma vayo rupa vidya aishwarya dhanadibhi yadi yasya na bhavet stambha tatrayam mad anugrahat. He says that in this world, if somebody has high birth, Janma, he performs very nice activities. He has a youthful body, a beautiful body. He is very educated. He is wealthy. He has so many followers. Yadi yasya na bhavet stambha. In spite of all this, if he is not proud, you should understand that this person has received my mercy. Only by the mercy of the Lord one can become humble in midst of all the opulences. So that is very, very important. So Prabhupada writes there in the purport, when one is materially opulent, he should learn to become sober and well behaved towards the Vaishnavas and saintly persons. Otherwise, this is an invitation for fall down. Just like now, Indra, he lost all his power, and all the demons, they could understand that now the Devatas, they have lost their power. They attacked, and demigods, they lost fight against demons. Almost they were falling dead. They ran for their life. They approached Brahma. All the demigods headed by Indra approached Brahma, Indra, Varuna, and all the other Devatas. They approached Brahma and they informed. So Brahma, we have discussed in the 5th canto that on the top of Sumeru mountain, also there is a Brahmapuri where Brahmaji stays sometime. So all the Devatas, they went to Sumeru mountain and they explained the whole thing, what had happened. So when Brahmaji, he saw the demigods in such a pathetic, disturbed situation, he felt compassionate for them. And he concentrated his mind on Lord Vishnu, and he's then after getting all the inspiration from Supreme Lord, he spoke to the Devatas. He says, now we should take shelter of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. In this situation, none of us can do anything. So therefore, please, we should all go to the Shweta Dvipa and offer prayers. That Supreme Lord is impartial in his nature. If we offer our prayers to that Supreme Lord, for sure he will help us. And he says that now this is not the time for destruction. This is the time for maintenance and protection. Therefore, for sure, Lord will help us. So now please come with me. We will all go to offer our prayers to Lord Vishnu. So Prabhupada writes, in the word, in the purport there, that this world is under the three modes of material influence, material nature. Only by the mercy of the Supreme Lord one can come out of these three modes of material nature. Only by the process of Krishna consciousness. Kaler dosh nidhi rajan asti hi eko mahan gunan kirtana deva krishnasya mukta sangha param brajet. In this Kali Yuga, which is ocean of faults, the only way to come out of this Kali Yuga is to chant the names of the Lord. And that's why Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, he appeared to give this holy name to everyone. So then after this, all the Devatas, headed by Brahmaji, they go to Shvetudip and they offer beautiful, beautiful prayers. Shukdev Goswami, he addresses Parikshit Maharaj as Arindama. O Arindama, O Maharaj Parikshit, the subduer of the enemies. Brahmaji took all the Devatas to Shvetudvipa. So in the 24th verse, Shukdev Goswami is using the word Arindama. So Prabhupada is focusing on this word Arindama. Why Shukdev Goswami is calling Parikshit Maharaj as Arindama, subduer of the enemies? Because of two reasons. First of all, he conquered all the kings. Namanti yatpada niketam atmanaha shivaya hani adhanani shatravaha. In first canto it is described. All the sages of Naimisharan, they are asking Suta Goswami that please tell us why Parikshit Maharaj gave up his entire kingdom. At the feet of Parikshit Maharaj, Namanti Yatpad Niketam, all the great kings, they would come and bow down their helmets in front of Parikshit Maharaj. He had conquered all the directions. That's why Shukdev Goswami is calling Parikshit Maharaj as Arindama. Secondly, why he is calling Parikshit Maharaj as Arindama? Because he has conquered lust, anger, greed, which are the real enemies. When he was cursed by this Shringi, he was not at all angry with Shringi. He had just accepted the curse. That's why he is called as Arindama. So all the Devatas headed by Brahma, they go and they start offering prayers. Although Brahmaji had not seen the Lord personally, but he had heard about him from the Vedas. Therefore, he started offering beautiful prayers. Seeing is not actually the way to serve the Supreme Lord. When we hear the Supreme Lord, that is actually seeing the Supreme Lord. Ase srutekshat patho nanunath pumsam. We can see the Lord through our ears. When we hear the glories of the Lord, then we can see the Lord. That's how Rukmini Devi, she had never seen Krishna in her life, but she had heard about Krishna. That's why when she, came to know that Shishupal, her brother Rukmi, had made arrangements to get her married to Shishupal, she wrote a letter. Shrutva gunan bhuvana sundara shrinvatam te nirvishya karna vivare harato angatapam rupam drisham drishimatam akhilartha labham tvai achyuta vishati chittama patrapam me. She says there, I have heard about you, my Lord. Just by hearing about you, I have developed a desire to marry you only. So therefore, Prabhupada writes there, sometime people ask, I want to see God. What is your qualification to see God? Nobody can see God unless Krishna desires. So Brahmaji started offering beautiful prayers to Supreme Lord. And he says that, he starts offering prayers. That Supreme Lord who is changeless, eternal, unlimited, he is staying in everyone's heart as Paramatma. Nobody can approach that Supreme Lord with his mind and words. He is beyond mind and words. I offer my respects to you. And he says that Supreme Lord is omniscient. He knows everything. He has full knowledge of whatever is happening in this material world. He is the source of creation, maintenance, and destruction. He is the supreme shelter of all the living entities. Whatever problems one may be in, he is the only supreme shelter. And Supreme Lord is the only one who is infallible. In this world, people have so many shelters, but the only shelter which is infallible is the Supreme Lord. Therefore, this samsara, the hub of this samsara chakra, is actually the lotus feet of the Lord. When we surrender to the Supreme Lord, then one can come out of this material existence. The great yogis, they worship the Lord in so many ways. That Supreme Lord is beyond the mode of darkness, beyond the mode of passion, beyond the mode of ignorance. And then they say that only by serving the Lord one can come out of the material energy, come out of the Maya of the Lord. Otherwise, nobody can understand the Lord. It is not easy to understand the Lord. Name vidu surgana prabhavam na maharshayah, Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita. Nobody knows me. And then Brahmaji says, we may not know the personal form of the Lord. Therefore, we are offering respects to the universal form of the Lord. And then Brahmaji describes in next 14 verses the universal form of the Lord. We have discussed in great detail in the second canto and third canto the universal form of the Lord, how upper planetary systems, middle planetary systems, and the lower planetary systems, they are compared with various body parts of the Lord. And then after describing this, Brahmaji says that if Lord desires, he can free one from any of the problems in this world. Therefore, O my Lord, we wish to see you. We have heard about you many times, but now we want to see you. Please appear in front of us and give us your blessings. Please give us your benedictions. And then, Brahmaji describes the glorious position of worship of the Supreme Lord. क्लेश भूर्यापसाराणि कर्माणि विफलानि वा देहिनां विषयार्तानां न तथैवार्पितं त्वयि. He says, what is the effect of efforts of karmis and what is the effect of a devotee? A karmi, he struggles so very hard to enjoy life in this material world. Klesha bhuri. Bhuri means unlimited struggle one undergoes to enjoy in this world. Karmani vifalani cha. But what is the result? They are frustrated in their endeavors. Dehinam vishaya artanam. Embodied beings, they try to enjoy this material world, but they are frustrated. But na tathaiva arpitam. But those who are devotees of you, my Lord, they don't have to suffer in this way. So Prabhupada writes in the purport that this Krishna consciousness movement, it was actually started with 40 rupees. And we have now more than 40 crore worth of property. All this opulence has come just because we are serving the Supreme Lord. People in this world, they are trying to get more and more wealth, but they don't know how to get it. If we surrender to Krishna, then actually we will become very, very rich. One time, one businessman came to Prabhupada and said, Swamiji, ye sab aapne kaise kiya? And because he came to know that Swamiji went to America with 40 rupees and came back with 40 crore worth of property. So he was bewildered. He was asking, Swamiji, kaise kiya aapne? He was thinking because Prabhupada was a businessman in his earlier life, so maybe he knew some business tricks. So Prabhupada said, Ham gaya, he was speaking in Hindi. Ham gaya, उधर पेड़ के नीचे बैठा, कीर्तन किया और सब हो गया. So he said, नहीं स्वामी जी, और क्या किया आपने? So he was not ready to accept the fact that कीर्तन करने से ऐसा कैसे हो सकता है. So that is the wonderful nature of Hari Katha. So Prabhupada writes that the devotees continue to spread this Krishna consciousness movement, dedicating their life and soul unto the lotus feet of Krishna. No one will be able to check the movement, progress of Hare Krishna movement. And then he says, what is the power of devotional service? Navamana karma kalpo hi vifalasya shavrapita kalpate purushasyeva sahi atma daito hari. Even if na avamana karma kalpo hi, even if small traces of efforts are done, Even if somebody does a little effort in the process of bhakti, that effort never goes in vain. That effort is a permanent account. That is a merciful nature of devotional service. That is a wonderful nature of Krishna consciousness. Neha bhikramana shosti. There is no loss. And then he says, just like if somebody waters the root of the tree, entire tree is nourished. Yatha skanda shakhanam taror moolavashechanam evam aradhanam vishnu sarvesham atmanaschahi. Similarly, by worshipping Lord Vishnu, one can attain all the results. It is similar verse, it has come many times in Bhagavatam. Yatha tarormul nishechanena tripyanti tatskanda bhujopashakha. Similar verse. So Brahmaji is also speaking the same verse. And then he says, I offer my obeisances to that Supreme Lord. Namastubhyam anantaya durvitarkayatmane nirgunaya guneshaya sattvasthaya cha sampratam. I offer my obeisances to that unlimited Lord whose actions are inconceivable. So now, after all the prayers are spoken, the 6th chapter starts. Supreme Lord Hari appears in front of all the devatas. When he appeared, he was, having a brilliance of 1,000 suns. And because of the brilliance, such a very wonderful effulgence, all the devatas, they were blinded by the effulgence. Nobody could see anything. Even the Supreme Lord was invisible because of the effulgence which was coming from the body of Lord. And then Shukadeva Goswami describes the beautiful form of the Lord when he appeared in front of the devatas, all the Brahma, Shiva, and everybody, as they were seeing the beautiful personality, which was having a blackish complexion. He was wearing a kaustubhamala. He had eyes reddish like a depth of the lotus. His entire body was nicely decorated. He was wearing a beautiful garland. He had a smiling face. He had a wonderful, wonderful crown, bedecked with all the jewels and the emeralds. He was wearing a beautiful, shining earring. And in this way, the beauty of the Lord is described. As soon as the Lord appeared, he saw the beautiful form of the Lord. All the devatas, they offered their obeisances. And again, Brahmaji starts offering prayers after getting darshan of the Lord. Oh my Lord, you are inconceivable. You are born, you are unborn, yet you appear and disappear in many incarnations. Although you are orchestrating everything in this material world, but still you are unaffected by the modes of material nature. You are supremely inconceivable. And this theme has come many times in Bhagavatam. Karmani hasya bhavo bhavasya te durga shrayothari bhayat palayanam kalatmano yat pramadayutashramam swatman rate khidyati dhir vidamiha. Although there is no work which is there for the Supreme Lord, but still he does so many activities. Unborn, but still he takes birth. Bhavo bhavasyate. Although fear personified fears from Supreme Lord, he is apparently fearful of Jarasandha. He ran away and he made a palace in the middle of ocean. All this is very bewildering. These are the inconceivable pastimes of Krishna. He says, O best of the personalities, O Purusheshwara, Purusharshabha, those who desire supreme fortune worship your form. Actually, you have no beginning, no middle, no end. You are the supreme sustenance of this entire creation. You create, you maintain, you destroy this entire creation by your own will. And therefore, your Maya is inconceivable, insurmountable Maya. Although you are engaging in all these material affairs through your material energies, you are never affected. And then he says, oh my Lord, one can attain you only by bhakti. As one can derive fire from firewood, milk from a cow, grains by cultivating a land, water by digging the land, he can earn livelihood by endeavoring. Similarly, one can attain you only by the process of bhakti. So why all these analogies are given by the Brahmaji? So Chakravarti Thakur, he clarifies. He says, the process of bhakti is learned from a guru. Just like, when you kindle a fire in a wood, the fire comes out of that. Similarly, the bhakti is there in everyone's heart. And when we take shelter of spiritual master, then Divya Gyan Hriday Prakashita. If calf sucks the milk from the udder, the milk flows very easily. Similarly, if one is with devotees, one can advance in Krishna consciousness very easily. One attains the Lord by, profusion of bhakti, he writes, which arises from the seed of bhakti from previous lives. Whatever bhakti one has done in his previous life, he is ready to practice bhakti in this life also. Or if somebody gets mercy of the devotees of the Lord, then he can render bhakti. And we have seen that those people, some devotees, some people who come and very nicely, very easily take to this process of Krishna consciousness. Immediately in few days start chanting 16 rounds, following principles, everything is wonderful for them. And for some people it is a huge tapasya. They are just struggling to chant 2 rounds, 4 rounds. They are struggling to follow regulative principles because that is the beginning of their bhakti. So therefore, the more we have performed bhakti in the past life, or the more we are eager now to perform bhakti, according to our eagerness, we'll get advancement in Krishna consciousness. And then why this example is given, water by digging the land. So the same thing, if one has previous associations, one attains strong bhakti. And then those who have attained bhakti attain the Lord eternally simply by worshipping him. So that is the wonderful prayer of Brahmaji. And then after this, Brahmaji says that, what is the effect of your darshan of your form, O my Lord? Just by seeing your darshan, everybody becomes so very happy. Just like elephants who are troubled by the hot, scorching sun, when they enter the Ganga, they become completely pacified. Similarly, people in the world, they are struggling, suffering. But when they get darshan of you, my Lord, they are completely pacified. Chandrika vishadasmairai sarunapanga vikshitai swakarthanam ivarajaha sattvabhyam srishtipalakai. Brahmaji prays in the 10th canto that when somebody glances at the Lord, the glance of the Lord, when somebody takes darshan of the Lord, Lord glances on his devotees. And the glance of the Lord creates a desire of service. And when Lord smiles, the smile of the Lord destroys, evaporates the ocean of lamentation which is there in the heart of a living entity. That is the wonderful nature of just taking darshan of the Lord. It purifies us of all the distress condition. And therefore, Prabhupada writes in the purport there, a devotee is always eager to have darshan of the Lord. He is always eager to have some experience of the Lord. Bhakti para isha anubhava. Therefore, whatever situation may come, however we may be distressed, even if we are not able to chant properly, even if we are sleeping in Bhagavatam, even if we are not able to serve properly, but still, devotee never gives up. Devotee is always Asha Bandha. That is one of the qualities of a devotee. He is always Asha Bandha. Okay, I am not able to follow, the principles of Krishna consciousness properly. I am not able to chant. I am not able to read properly, but still, I want to do it. If we are eager, then Krishna will inspire from within. He will give the strength. Tesham evanukampartham aham ajnanajam tamaha nashayami atmabhavasto. Those devotees who are eager to advance, Krishna gives mercy from within. Then they say, oh my Lord, you know our purpose. You are Trikalagya, you know everything, you know our purpose. So what is the need for us to inform you of anything? So therefore, please show us a solution. Please show us how to come out of this distressed state. And then after this, Lord Vishnu, he starts speaking. He gives a plan. He says, whenever Lord speaks, he speaks in a very, very deep, resounding voice. And that voice is resembling a rumbling of a cloud. Megha nirhadaya vacha. So Lord started speaking in a very, very deep voice. Although Lord is capable of doing everything himself. What is difficult for the Lord to do? He can do anything. He can himself remove all the obstacles. He can himself kill the demons. But still, Lord wanted to enjoy the pastimes of Samudra Manthan. Therefore, he started speaking. He says, "O Devatas, please listen very, very attentively. Whatever I am going to tell you, please hear very attentively. Because this will bring all good fortune to you. Please, as long as you are not flourishing, because now your condition is very bad, as long as you are not flourishing, please declare a truce with the demons. The demons, they are favored by the time. Demons, they are favored by Shukracharya. They are, the word used is Kala. Kalena and Kavyena. Kavya means Shukracharya. So demons, they are favored by time now, and they are favored by Shukracharya. So don't try to fight with them. Just make a truce with them. And then he describes the principle, very important principle. He says, for attaining an important goal, one may have to make a truce even with one's enemy, according to the snake mouse logic. So you may be wondering, what is this snake and the mouse doing in this slide? Because Lord Vishnu says, according to this snake mouse logic, one has to deal with the enemies in certain way. So what is this snake mouse logic? Prabhupada tells a story that one time there was a snake. He was caught in the net, and there was a rat also, which was also inside the net. So snake made a truce with the rat. He said, look, you also want to go out, I also want to go out. I cannot come out on my own, and if I want, I can eat you. So we'll make a truce. You make a hole in the net, and you go out, I'll leave you, and I'll also go out. But snake, what he was thinking, after this rat makes a hole in the net, I will eat the rat. So Lord Vishnu is saying, sometimes to achieve an important goal, we have to deal with the enemies with the snake and mouse logic. He says, try to produce nectar. This nectar makes one immortal. And what is the plan of this churning? He says, O Devatas, cast all the vegetables, herbs, grass, creepers in this ocean of milk. And with my help, you start churning this ocean. You make Mandar mountain as the rod, churning rod. You make Vasuki as the rope. And thus, the demons will also labor. They will also work very hard to get the nectar. But in the end, you will be the victorious one. So therefore, be patient. Because you are now on the weaker side. Whatever the demons ask, you agree to all of their proposals. Don't argue with them. If somebody is patient and peaceful, he can attain everything they want. So therefore, be very calm. Don't become angry. Accept all the proposals which the demons they are giving. As you are churning this milk ocean, give up three things. Give up fear, give up greed, and give up anger. Why fear? Because when you are churning this ocean, halahal poison will come out. Don't be fearful. Something will come. It will be taken care. Don't become afraid. And as you are churning this ocean, so many different things will start coming out. Don't become greedy for them. Just give all of them to the demons if they want it. Don't become angry in any situation. Then after advising demigods in this way, Supreme Lord disappeared. Now, Brahma, Shiva, and all the other prominent principal devatas, they returned to their abodes. Indra, along with all the demons, all the devatas, they went to meet King Bali, because Bali was the king of the demons that time. Bali Maharaj, he knew very well when to make peace and when to fight. He was very expert Kshatriya. So seeing Indra and all the devatas coming without weapons, in a non-military attitude, although all the demons, they wanted to attack these devatas and kill them, Bali Maharaji forbade them. Now, all the devatas headed by Indra, they are sitting with Bali Maharaj. And whatever Lord Vishnu had told all these devatas, they started explaining the plan. How they will churn the milk ocean with the help of Mandara as a churning rod. This Mandara is not the Sumeru mountain. This is another mountain which is there in the Bhumandala, Mandara. And we have discussed in Lavarth Varsha. There is a mountain called Mandara also. So, so all these Indra and Devatas, they started telling the whole story, whole plan of how they will churn the ocean. And all the demons, they also liked the plan very nicely. Prabhupada writes, Bali Maharaj, he was a very, very refined personality. He knew all the arts of guest reception. That is the ideal Kshatriya. If a person is coming without weapons, even an enemy is accepted as a friend. And Prabhupada tells a story of Pandavas and Kauravas also. Every day morning, Pandavas would fight with the Kauravas on the battlefield of Kurukshetra. In the evening, many times they would go and meet each other. So that is a glorious Vedic culture. So when demigods, they explained everything to Bali Maharaj, all the demons, they also understood that, these devatas, they are so very weak. They were also thinking the same thing, snake and mouse logic. We will take help of the devatas, we will churn this milk ocean, and we will get the nectar. We will not give a drop to all these devatas. So, Prabhupada writes there, the politics, diplomacy, and cheating propensity is there in all the societies, even in the demigod society, even in the demoniac society. It is there in every place. But demons, they thought, I will take everything. And the devatas also thought, I will take everything. But devatas, they were following the instructions of Supreme Lord. Demons, they were doing it for their own sense gratification. Because devatas, they were thinking, because these demons are ruling now, this whole, the system of this cosmic manifestation is not working properly. Because this is the time of mode of goodness. Therefore, the demons, if they flourish, it will create a chaos in the society. So therefore, they made an agreement with the demons. And demons and the devatas, they became friends for time being, For time being, they made an agreement, became friends, and they endeavored together to produce nectar. Now, what they did, together all the devatas and all the demons, they went to this Mandar mountain. They uprooted the Mandar mountain, a huge mountain made of gold. It was not made of stone. It was a golden mountain, Mandar. And they started carrying it towards this milk ocean. Because it was a long distance they were carrying, they became fatigued. They became tired. And Indra, Bali Maharaj, and all the other powerful devatas and the demons, they could not hold this Mandar anymore. It fell off their hands. They left it on the way. And there were many demons who were supporting this mountain, and they were getting crushed under this mountain. Their arms, their legs were getting broken. At that point of time, Supreme Personality of Godhead appeared on the back of Garuda. And when Lord, he saw the pathetic situation of the demigods and the demons. Many demigods, the devatas, they were also there under the mountain. They were getting crushed. Observing this situation of the devatas and the demons, Lord himself, he first of all, he carried the Mandar mountain away above the, from the hands of these demons. He glanced on all of them. He glanced on the demons and the devatas, he revived them back. And then he placed the mountain on the back of Garuda, just with one hand. If Lord can maintain this entire universe, what is the big deal for the Lord to pick up this very small mountain? So he put this whole entire mountain on the back of Garuda, and himself also sat, and he reached to the place where this churning of the milk ocean was going to take place. And Garuda, he reached that place. Lord Vishnu, he told Garuda, you go back, because they had to call Vasuki. Vasuki is a serpent, and Garuda, his natural food is snake. So therefore, when Vasuki, if he would see Garuda, he would not be ready to come to that place. So that's why Garuda was sent back. These are all the wonderful arrangements of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. So this is the end of the 6th chapter. So we'll stop here. Thank you very much. Hare Krishna. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Granthra Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai. If anybody has any questions, you can ask. Okay, so thank you very much. So we'll stop here. Srila Prabhupada ki jai.